Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Angiso Silikane. So, guys, we are so nervous.
I don't know why.
I don't know why also. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the video. So today I'm going to be chatting with my friend Nomakhwezi. Yeah, thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. You're such a darling. Why not come and sit here and chat with you?
Yes. So guys, Nomakhwezi and I, we met back in high school. I think she came to Rob in grade 9. It was 2013.
13,
Yeah, that's when we started being we knew each other from then, and I think we also got along because we knew that we came from the same area again. So that's how we got along, and we started having conversations, and and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's why we're sitting here today.
Yeah, so Nomakhwezi, please tell us about yourself. Who are you? Who's Nomakhwezi? And all that.
Okay. Who am I? Who's Nomakhwezi? Nomakhwezi is an ordinary girl from rural area, Emahushu, a game. She's very fun. I'd like to say I'm very outgoing and open. And I'm a lover of good things, man. I'm a lover of great time. I'm saved. I'm a child of God. I'm very saved. I'm for Jesus and everything for Him.
So, when did you? Because I remember, I know you. I know that you've always feared God and all that. But recently, the past few years since we reconnected, now when we were in varsity, I can see that your relationship with God is you are open about it. You are really involved in it. You are serving. What happened?
What happened? Oh, I don't know. Okay, how do I put this? I've always, as you mentioned, that I've always just been then in high school, but then I don't know if maybe then I didn't kind of comprehend the whole idea of it until I went to varsity. And in varsity, I think, when was it? First year, late. I just really started being intentional about my journey with Christ. I'm very open about it, and I'm bold about it. Where you go, wherever I am, everyone that encounters me will know that I'm for Jesus.
Yeah, and I also think that the church that you choose to go to, it also plays a role in building your relationship with God, because with myself also going to church on the hill, it really I learned a lot. You are in a way encouraged to serve, and you understand things in a better way.
Yeah, definitely. The church that I got involved with, Global Reconciliation Church, in Bloemfontein, that church was really what I needed. My journey with God after I walked into that house literally shifted. I started seeing things in a different way. I started discovering myself in a different way. I started seeing God in a different light because I was closer to Him. I was so excited about Him. I was so excited about Christ. I was excited about anything that just involved Christ. Serving people, serving the church, in the church, and
as a youth,
as a young girl, I'm not ashamed. Everywhere you go, everyone who knows me knows that I'll tell you about Jesus. I'll tell you about Christ anytime.
Yeah, that's great. I like that. And how was your high school experience? Because I know with us kids who used to stay in the rural areas, going to attend school at the urban areas, it's kind of difficult to find a balance between the two, that you go to a Model C school, yet you stay at the rural areas. And it's just a different experience for us.
excuse me, that for me, ne, I kind of experienced it from a very young age, that whole imbalance situation, tonton. Coming from a rural area, I mean, like, I grew up there, I played with the kids in the streets, I was basically like everyone, and then next thing, I have to move and go study or school somewhere in town. And obviously when you get there, you are looked down upon because you are not like them. You do not speak the same language that they speak. Your English is not as fluent as their English is. And then for me, when I got when I went to primary in White River, because I was from a rural area, they took me a grade back. They told me that my standard isn't at their standard. So I was taken a grade below and I had to repeat a grade. And obviously, it didn't make me feel good about myself. And also the kids there, because you are not from town, they know things that you don't know. They look down upon you. And then now when you have to go home, the people from home are now thinking that, oh, just because now you are in town, you think you are better than us. And then
bullying also, that's where bullying also comes in.
And then that made me just want to stay at home. If I was not at school, I was at home, and I never used to chill and play with the other kids anymore, like at home, because of that whole situation.
I see. And now you are studying psychology and you just graduated. Congratulations, girl.
Yes! Thank you so much. Yes, you are speaking to a whole graduate.
Yes. And I remember, like, in high school, you were always talking about it, you wanting to be a psychologist one day. Like, you looked like you really believed so much in this dream. You spoke so confidently about it. What inspired you to want to be a psychologist, first of all, back in high school? Why did you see?
I remember from an early age, I think around when I was 12-ish, I kind of knew, maybe then I didn't know what it was, the word or the term psychology, I didn't know it, but then I knew that's like the kind of path I want to go into. So went into high school, I was still very confident about it, like, yo, I mean, I see myself as a psychologist, hey, and all of that. I remember it started because, like, I think when I was like in primary, my friends would always just speak to me about things that they were going through. Whenever there was something happening, maybe like at home, like my friends would speak to me about it, and it just felt like I was always that safe space, nyana, of some sort for like my friends and all of that. And then I guess that just drove me towards that path. And then obviously I knew more about it when I was in high school, started doing research about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, the years in school that I have to go through in order to be a qualified and registered psychologist.
How old were you when you were like researching about that?
I think you want to know, you want to become something. Okay, I knew I wanted to become that, but then obviously, like, when I was 16, 17, I wasn't giving it much research until application time comes in matric, when I was applying. And then, like, okay, Kwezi, you know what you want to do, but then you haven't really done research about it. And then I started doing my research about it and what it is, what it requires, and all of that. But at the same time, looking at the years, the number of years that you have to study in order to become a registered psychologist, I was still like, I'm doing it.
Really? I think, like, had I knew before I went into it, I was not gonna go for it. Because me, I thought that you just get your degree, then you are a doctor, then you are a psychologist. Like, I only found out, like, when I was already in my first year. And I remember, like, a lot of kids in my class, a lot of my classmates, we also, like, all found out while we were in our first year. We didn't know. So I think it's also important for other kids, especially who want to go and study psychology, that they really do their research. They need to understand that before you become a qualified psychologist, you need to have your master's degree. It's a very long way, but all I can say, I think it's worth it at the end.
No, it is. It really is. Because I remember I was like, yes, I'm going for it. I know, because I think I was inspired more because I was inspired mostly by people I knew who went to school to study medicine. I mean, at that time, I remember growing up, we all knew that when you want to become a doctor, you must study 7 years. And then I think now the years have decreased, I think, to 5. I'm not sure. But I'm like, okay, if they could do it, why can't I? So I think that for me was the one thing that made me say, okay, I'll do my 3-year undergrad, I'll do my honors, and then I'll do my master's. Man, come on, Kwezi, man, you've got this. And then here I am. 3 years later, I'm an graduate in Bachelor of Social Science. I majored in psychology and industrial psychology as well. And then, yeah.
So, like, looking at you now, and you've just graduated and all that, and I remember back in high school, you were always talking about wanting to be a psychologist. Like, you spoke so confidently about what you want to achieve in life as a young girl, man. So, like, what would you say to a young kid who is in the rural areas, or also like in the urban areas, children who are still in high school? What would you say to a girl who has dreams, but then they doubt themselves? They are not sure if they could maybe achieve whatever that they want to achieve.
First of all, I'd say that the fact that you are able to dream about it means that it's possible. Something like that won't be planted inside of you. A dream can be planted inside of you, and you not having the ability to actually put it to life. So for a young girl who has a dream, I would definitely say go for it. Go for it with everything that you have. And I'm a firm believer of, if you want something and you work hard for it, you'll get it. And I'm not saying you'll get it the same time. It might take you years, but if you want it, and you're willing to put in the work, then what's stopping you? Self-doubt is just a killer of dreams. A lot of people actually dream or have had the dream of becoming something, but now we see them in the streets or see them just living mediocre lives because they doubted themselves. So I'm just saying that don't let self-doubt kill your dreams. Constantly affirm yourself, affirm those dreams. Like, stand in front of the mirror, tell yourself, I will get it, I will do it. And if there's something coming in, maybe like an obstacle, I will overcome it and I'll get to it. Because I don't think, for me, looking back, 18-year-old me, when I went to Free State, being accepted in a course that I actually didn't really want to do, I went there by myself, stood in a queue for the whole day, hungry, in a town that I didn't know anyone. Like, I knew no one in Bloemfontein. I didn't have a relative or anything like that. But I took a bus from Nelspruit and I said, I'm going to Bloem and I'm going to find out and I'm gonna get what I want.
So you were accepted for a different course.
I was accepted for a different course. And then I remember sitting in the queue the whole day. And then when I got there, I remember when I got to the last person who was supposed to print out the admission form to say that I'm accepted now in my BSOC degree. Mm-hmm. This lady told me that, sis, it's 4:30. We are leaving. Mm-hmm. And I remember crying. I was like, I can't. I don't know anyone here. And the place that I booked to sleep, I have to go tomorrow. I have to go home tomorrow because my bus is already booked for tomorrow. And then that lady, like, I cried tears. I cried. And then that lady ended up printing out my admission because she said I must come back tomorrow. And imagine tomorrow I was going to have to queue again.
Imagine.
And then she gave me my letter. I was so happy. I was so happy. I was so happy. Like, I remember the day like yesterday. And then from then, when I went back to register, I was so determined that I want this degree. And I told myself that I've given myself 3 years. This degree is 3 years. And I'm not here to play. I want it. Because at the same time, I was like, nah, like, I've got, like, I want to finish my degree in record time. Mm-hmm. And it's a goal that I achieved. Like, I'm sitting here, I did my degree in the time that I had actually given myself to do it. But I'm not saying that with you it will also be the same way. It might take you 6 years to do your degree. But if that's what you want, do it. Don't let it stop you. Don't let self-doubt stop you. And there are going to be challenges along the way. There will be days like school is not nice. I won't lie and say school is nice. There'll be days when you feel like you want to pack your bags and go home. Trust me, don't go home. I look back, 2017 when I started, now it's 2020. And I'm like, imagine I had gone home.
And sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
How important is like a support system, especially from family and close friends, when you are in varsity? Because I know it can be really hard for one to juggle university and issues around. How important is a supportive system?
Support system is everything that a person needs. But what's this? If you do not have one, but you want to get where you want to get to, I'm also a strong believer of no one owes you anything. You have to be strong for yourself. You came to earth by yourself, and if you do not have a support structure, you need to be strong for yourself. Because I mean, like, as a student, trust me, you won't be able to talk to your parents about everything. I mean, like, our parents don't understand that, Mama, it's difficult. I failed the test. They'll tell you not studying enough. And the time you have studied. So you need to be a support system for yourself first. That is the most important thing that I can say. As a student, you need to be strong for yourself first before you expect somebody else to be supportive to you. Secondly, you need to have a support before going home. A good support structure from friends, your peers, your classmates, the people who are studying the same course that you are studying in. A degree, you won't get it by yourself. Some people say they've done it, but then for me, what I've seen, degree, you can't have it by yourself. You need friends. You need other people that will also pour into you, people you'll study with, people who actually explain things that you don't understand. So support structure in that sense. And then family, I mean, it's a bonus. If your family and your parents are supportive, because normally being a black child, sorry for lack of a better word, for being like a black child, support system, our parents think it's just money, and it's not emotional or psychological or whatsoever. So if that's the kind of support system that you have at home that's just financial, start from within. Be a support system for yourself. But if there is from home, it's perfect. Embrace them. You will need them, because there'll be days when you'll cry and want to call home, Mama, I'm coming back. You'll need that. Be strong. Go and write the test. You'll do good. And if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. You'll need that. Support system is important, but before you expect support from anyone else, you need to be strong for yourself first.
That was powerful. Thank you. I'm also inspired, because I'm also still like in my second year.
Yeah, and it's still gonna be like interesting. It's still gonna be interesting. I remember my lecturer in first year told me that, you guys are still doing boring things. It's only nice in third year. Imagine going through my whole first year. Yeah, it was nice. It was interesting. But trust me, it was interesting in third year. Really? Third year psychology was interesting, because that's where we went into like details. Like, we started doing personality. We started doing abnormal psychology. Now doing disorders. I remember when we started doing abnormal psychology, I used to diagnose people like
fascinating stuff.
So every single time I bump into a person, maybe like I have a conversation,
deep down you're like,
I'm like, okay, I know what's wrong with this person. Or maybe like when I'm studying, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this sounds so much like who. And it's not only just like, what's this? You actually now learn about psychological disorders that I didn't know about. I didn't know that there was, like, people suffer from what's this, bipolar. People suffer from schizophrenia. I didn't know people suffer from the sleep disorder. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I remember this one day in class when we were talking about schizophrenia and bipolar, and it was so funny how other black people, sorry,
for lack of a better word,
yes, other, like some of us black people, they would think, like older people, they would think that maybe they diagnose schizophrenia and bipolar as madlodi.
I remember in high school, I met this lady in Pick and Pay. I don't know, it was so weird. This lady asked me to go buy an apple and 25 rand airtime. And I was like, why can't you go in the shop by yourself? And then after that, after I went to buy her things, I went to her car and I gave her things. And then she was telling me about, like, she's from Godini. She was telling me about a situation that she's been in hospital for, she doesn't know how many times in her life. And she's been in and out of hospital. Uze watwasa. They were telling her that unamadlodi and stuff, and only later on was she diagnosed that she's actually schizophrenic.
Really?
And that for me also was like, our people are suffering because they do not know. And I'm not saying that amadlodi is not something that's there.
It does exist, but
some people can actually get help, because people even die out here. People commit suicide. People die from all these things that are happening. And bipolar, guys, a simple thing, you live with a person in the house, you guys are constantly complaining about this person, say that this person is moody, today they're happy, tomorrow they are sad, or 1 minute they are happy, the next moment they are what, and then you could find that this person has bipolar. And these are things that if this person can get help, they can actually live a normal life like everybody else. So it's things that I think we need to be educated about.
Yes.
And I can't wait to come back into my community and actually give back and teach people about these disorders that are there in psychology.
Yeah. And like how important do you think it is for the communities to be aware of mental health? Because I feel like there's not enough awareness in South Africa as a whole. How important is mental health awareness now that you are in psychology?
Everything starts in the mind. Every single thing starts from the mind. If the mind is not healthy, your whole being is gonna be unhealthy. You're going to have negative thoughts. You are going to indulge in behaviors that are negative. You are going to find yourself in company with people who are not going to impact your life. You might even find yourself in a place where you end up taking your own life. So mental health is a very, very important, it's an important thing that our people need to be educated about. It's a thing that from a young age, it's something that we need to deal with, because it's things that start from when you were young. Like, I mean, like from studying psychology, you see how your social or your background or whatever, like your social being, and from wherever you are, your environment, it actually impacts the kind of person you are most likely to become. Yes, it's important that from a young age we need to create an environment that allows people to express how they feel, express when they are not okay,
especially the boy child.
The boy child, guys. And it's so sad that in my class, I don't know how many we were, but there were more girls than boys.
Also at SACAB, like 85% it's girls.
And it's that thing of, besides what's this, you find that it's indoda ikhali, for instance. And I'm like, this is how people now are not able to deal with things that are affecting them from inside. People get depressed because they're not afraid to speak about how they are feeling. And depression can come in all sorts of things. Like you can be depressed because of your work. You find that an old man is living in a house where they are depressed from work. They come home, they have a wife that is constantly making a noise in the house. They've got kids that now are demanding so much from them. And for the person, for the man in the house to say, "Angikho right." But because society makes it normal for indoor or to voice out, what's the alternative for the person? They kill themselves. They find themselves in mental institutions, and it's GBV important.
Also,
GBV.
It's broken men most of
the time. It's broken people. Like, I don't think a normal person who is healthy holistically can now do something like that.
Yes.
Because I mean, like, if a person's not gonna kill a person like that, where is it coming from? Imagine. Like, explain to me. Make it make sense where it comes from.
Yeah, so like it's important that really our people are aware of mental health, mental illnesses. Because like I've been really seeing that there's this notion that's been going around, mental health, but they don't understand it. And number two, they do not speak about mental illnesses. Yes,
because there's a difference between mental health and there's mental illnesses. There are things that are people who are sick. I don't want to say sick, but then I don't like saying the word sick, but then that have mental illnesses, mental disorders
that society is not aware about. Like the other day, what were we talking about? I forgot. Okay, it's fine. I'll just like kuluma that ladies order lavender. So what do you call that? Yeah. Konjo, what was he suffering from? Yeah. Yeah, like lomntana begane Down syndrome. So imagine, because ukamuga uenda so for sure and then sometimes they can those people they can come across as violent. He also had Down syndrome. Mara let's believe because uenda son and simsaba.
And it's so sad because those people just need love. The shame. There's nothing that they can do. Like, they just need love.
Exactly.
Because it's not even just a psychological problem, but then it's like in biology as well. Like, abeko right. So I don't know. There's just a lot that our community just needs to be informed about.
Yeah.
In the sense of health holistically. Because all we know our common sicknesses. Let's like high blood, sugar, but we do not know all the other things.
And like I remember also like my grandmother, like when she started her diabetes treatment, when like she was depressed. And that cause abe sick in the body, but she did not deal that sickness because like she lost her bandana bakilabai too, and she could have been taken for counseling, but rather she's treated empty. The problem it's psychological.
Yeah, true. Because that's also one thing about me. If another thing that's really pushing me into studying psychology, I believe that people get help physically. When I'm sick in the body, I can go to the hospital. But a person is never helped from within. Mm-hmm. The things that even affect the physical, they are not dealt with. So I want to be that person that just, even if I'm just the only one, that bridges the gap between the physical and the healthcare system, and be the one that deals with the things from within that people are not even aware about. Because imagine losing your children. Obviously, you're going to get into a place maybe like of depression, and then maybe now because you are depressed, you start realizing that okay, you get a stroke because you are stressing, but the root issue being a psychological thing, the depression, you haven't dealt with it, and walk around with broken people in the street who are helping the physical being, but walking around with broken souls. So that's just it for me.
Yeah. So, Nomakhwezi, welcome to the last segment of our episode.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
you feel so welcome here.
Yeah, we were taking a break. We were so tired. We were just drinking water, and my uncle came in. So, Nomakhwezi, tell us what's the next thing for Nomakhwezi, and yeah.
What is the next thing for me? Our course is a very demanding course. Psychology is a very demanding course, and in the sense of requirements of reaching going into maybe like your honors, your masters, whatsoever, you really need to work hard and get really good grades. So obviously, what's next is studying further until I'm qualified as a psychologist and registered one. But because of finances and the likes, job hunting. I don't know how to put it, but if anything comes up, I think go and work my way up the psychology ladder and see where I get. So definitely gonna become a psychologist in the future. Definitely, like, that's a given.
A very good one.
I'm job hunting, and I'm also trying to get maybe like a bursary to study further, because
bursaries, government bursaries, Ramaphosa.
Yes, because it's very expensive. Studying is expensive, especially if you are doing it out of your pocket. It's a lot of money. And also maybe see girl doing some business. You never know. There are things that I'm working on.
Business is the future, guys. Business is
in as much as like future. I want to go into that whole route, guys. I'm a business woman at heart. Yeah. So obviously, like, there are certain things that I'm working on right now, like the behind the scenes. You'll see because it's coming out. So yeah, that's what's next. And also can't wait to have my own NGO where I go out into.
Me too.
I want to have my own NGO. I think it's time that I actually now start with it, because I've been like, as far as I remember, I've been saying I'll go.
Our studies are demanding.
No, like it really is.
Yeah.
So I really want to start my own NGO, and with that, I just really want to go into the community and raise awareness of. I'm sure you guys heard a lot when I was speaking about bipolar and schizophrenia. I think I want to be. I am an advocate for that. I want to go out into the community and teach people of
those weird disorders.
These disorders. Your bipolar, your schizophrenia, and your ADHD, and all those things. Just go out there and give out to the community and teach people of what I've learned, and also empower them in what I've got to give, and also just to be a blessing to young people in the community. They need us. Like, there are so many people who just don't know, and with what we've got, we can actually really help out. We can actually be the bridge between them and their goals.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that you mentioned the issue of starting an NGO. I feel like that I also on my other video I saw, and I also I think that it's gonna make psychology or psychologists more accessible to the people that actually do need it. Because the other day we were talking about it, Kuti, like, psychology, it's only for the middle class and the rich. It's so expensive. One session is like 2,000 rand. It's expensive.
It is.
So through these NGOs, I think it's gonna be for the people.
Because it also will give really access. Because I mean, you go to the clinic. How many clinical psychologists do you find?
how long is that queue?
How long is that queue to find a person like that?
Psychologist for the whole region, as we were talking behind the scenes.
And so it's really like, I really just want to come back and be a blessing and just empower and help out in my community. I know from where I come from, this is something that is needed. It's really needed. People just need to learn about psychology and everything, as complex as it is, because even us, even the people who are teaching us, it's even said that it's so complex you can't even like put a limit to it. Yeah. But the little that we know will be what we'll be giving out to the people.
Thank you so much for joining me. I think we've reached the end. I hope you guys really enjoyed her. And yeah, thank you so much for making time for me and to talk to the people. May God bless you. May God be there in your career and everything, and may He fulfill the desires of your heart. And yeah, thank you for honoring us.
Thank you so much to all the subbies.
Please do subscribe, comment, like, and do the most, guys. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you guys for having me.